Hi everyone, Nick Krelikos of Nick Seasonal Decor here. Just give me 1 second while I pull up the feed. Okay, so what I thought we would do today is go back to a dollar store wreath frame. This is a 14-inch metal box wreath frame. And I thought we would use this today because a lot of you guys are having difficulty finding work wreaths, and I typically use work wreaths at this point, but for $1 and then some pipe cleaners, it is very economical to use your own and make your own. So that's what I thought we would do today. Let me just put my scissors back together. My new scissors are dual purpose. They work as scissors, and then I can separate them and use them as knives to cut open boxes and such. Hi you guys. So to create your work wreath, you're going to need 18 pipe cleaners. I haven't made one in so long, but they're so easy to make. But you're going to need 18 pipe cleaners that match your mesh. I am working with a fuchsia colored plaid mesh today, fuchsia and lime green. So I don't have the fuchsia pipe cleaners, but I do have lime green. So we will be using these. Okay, like I said before, it's going to take 18. And what I start, here, let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing. Nope, that's as far as I can zoom. But I place one on the inner two rings, and there's 6 individual sections with the dollar store wreath. So I place one and I wrap it around 2 of the wires. Each wreath has 4 wires, and I wrap it around the inner 2. And I place one on each of the 6 twists, or sections rather. Hi. So this wreath is going to be very simple. We're not going to be adding ribbon to each piece. We're just going to be doing a bow with some flowers and some greenery around it. So I placed one on each of the 6 sections, and now I'm going to go on the outside and place 2 on the outer 2 rings, one on either side of the one that we already placed. Thank you. Thanks for the shares, you guys. So if you ever have a roll of mesh that you don't know what to do with, and even if you have a partial roll, in most cases this will work if it's thicker mesh. But this is a very easy wreath to make. You can just add a bow, or you could add some flowers like I'm going to do to make it a little bit more elaborate. Thank you again for sharing. I've learned so much from your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. And when you guys do share the videos, it helps me reach a larger audience, which I always love. The more people, the better. So thank you guys for sharing as well and watching. So I purchase a box of wreaths. I don't individually purchase them at this point. So sometimes you get some broken ones that the welds are broken, as you can see here. So if you're just making a handful of wreaths, it's better off to go in store and pick out the wreath in person to make sure that the welds aren't broken. But when you purchase a box of them, sometimes a couple of them are broken, which I guess is okay because you are only spending $1 each. If you were to purchase these anywhere else, they would be a little bit more expensive. Newmarket, Ontario. Awesome. Okay, almost there. One more left. Okay, so this is what it looks like. As I've said in the past, I prefer to work with pre-made ones. It's just a time saver, and I don't like the look of the pipe cleaners, so after we get to adding all of the mesh, I will be cutting off each pipe cleaner. Whereas the work frame that's pre-made, I don't really mind the look. I actually kind of like the look, so I do leave those on. But let's get to cutting some mesh. So this is fabric mesh. So it's not plastic. kind of like jute, which I love to work with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these at 15 inches. So I'm going to go to the 16-inch mark and cut at the 1-inch mark. I am left-handed, and that little hole where they hang it at the store does get in my way, so I like to work around it. Yep, so where it's broken, what I did is I still wrapped it around, but, you know, even if it slides off, it's okay. Just make sure that the rest of them are secured tightly. There's no way it's going to fall off because we did wrap it around at least one of them. But I typically wrap them around 2. It puts a little tension on the pipe cleaner, which makes it stay in place. If you wrap it around 1, it'll just wiggle no matter how tight you pull. Hi, you guys. Four, 5, 6. We need 12 more. We're going to place 1 in each. I'm left-handed too, like your little ways make things easier. Exactly. So just by cutting at the 1-inch mark, you avoid that little hole. Hi Nick, love this color combination. Awesome. So I love these colors for spring and summer. I think they're perfect. They kind of remind me of a watermelon, which this mesh would be perfect to add a watermelon to. I have a watermelon somewhere. Maybe we can incorporate it if I can find it in time. If not, oh well. I use a little hot glue around the broken ones and take a toothpick to smooth the glue. That's an awesome idea, but unfortunately I don't think it'll hold that well. Even Gorilla Glue or anything like that. It is such a thin piece of metal that you just have to work around it or scrap it. I've seen some people tape it. I just don't think it's worth the extra effort because I would be nervous that it would fall apart, so I would just work around it. Okay, I don't know how many I cut, but the pile is getting massive, so I'll just put this to the side. If we need more, we can place some more on afterwards. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ruffle technique, and I like to pull my mesh towards me. As some of you in my group know, instead of working towards the mesh, I pull it towards me. So I just put my hands like this, and then I just cinch it, and I start gathering the mesh like this until we got something like this, which is kind of like a bow tie. And then I go back to my wreath, and I place 1 in every single twist, like that, until all 18 pipe cleaners are filled up. So there's 18 pipe cleaners, and the mesh is cut at 15 inches. Almost 700 people. Awesome, you guys. So I have just found it to be a little bit easier when you're pulling the mesh towards you. You might find it easier to do the opposite. That's just, you know, through trial and error. Or some of you guys might think it not make a difference at all, but the nice thing about the ruffle technique is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I know a lot of you guys are nervous with working with mesh, and I think the one that shows inconsistency the most is the poof technique. I just eyeball it but I've made a lot of them. So if you are just starting out, I recommend you do the ruffle technique, because if you cut the mesh 20 inches or if you cut it like 10, it really doesn't make a huge difference. You know, I'd rather cut more than less because you don't want it to be see-through, but at least something like this, we're just ruffling them like this so that, you know, the inconsistencies don't really show. Whereas the poof method, if the poofs are drastically different, it can kind of look a little wonky. So the pipe cleaners, I take 2 pieces of the metal and I wrap 1 pipe cleaner around them. I have found it to be the best when you wrap it around 2. It puts a little tension on the pipe cleaner and it keeps it in place. Thank you. So the frame is 14 inches. Okay, we're almost there. I'm just placing them at random. As long as each pipe cleaner gets 1 ruffle, you're all set. If you need to adjust it afterwards, you can, you know, manipulate them. But I don't place them in any specific manner. Okay, so I need to cut 3 more. So we'll put this to the side. Okay, so we still have a couple yards of mesh left. You might not know what to do with this, but if you are in my exclusive wreath community, the 4th of July wreath we made on the grapevine just a couple weeks ago, this would be a perfect use for it in that technique, and you can make it, you know, summer-oriented or spring-oriented with this little bit of mesh. So don't throw these out, you guys. I always save them. All right, almost there. Trendy Tree sent you. Awesome. So I know a lot of you guys are interested in that kit. I am finishing it up tonight, and I will be sending Carrie a picture of it that she'll post on our website with the kit and the details. But again, the kit is at no additional cost, so whatever the price of a regular roll of ribbon is, it's the same price, except it's in a kit format. And again, it is a lemonade wreath. And I think it turned out so cute with little lemons in it. So if you are interested in that kit, just comment interested down below, and I'll give you guys the information as soon as it's released, which should be hopefully very soon. Alright, this is what we got, you guys. How pretty is that? Once you cut the pipe cleaners, honestly, you could just put these on your windows and it'd be beautiful. I have a colonial style house with, even windows on either side. I think something like this in every single window for each holiday or each season would be perfect. You don't need a bow, you don't need any ribbon. Just cut the pipe cleaners off and you're good to go. Let me see if you guys can see. There we go. I know, Jeannie, they are tiny, but they're so cute. Alright, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go throughout and cut the pipe cleaners off. Again, the reasoning behind the lime green is that once you cut them off, you really can't see them. I wouldn't choose something like a blue or a purple for this, because you might see the little bits of the pipe cleaner. I put one in each twist. I wouldn't put two. I think it'd be a little too thick, and you can't see through it at this point. The only reason I would double up is if it's a little see-through. But with the fabric mesh, I think it's quite thick, and it kind of masks the frame nicely. Love the sunflower wreath behind you. Thank you. So that was uploaded last night in my exclusive wreath community. Let me just pan out while I cut the pipe cleaners off. You guys don't need to see me cut the pipe cleaners off, but that's the wreath we created last night. It was a recorded tutorial for my members. If you are interested in joining the community, it is $15 a month, and you can sign up at nickseasonaldecor.com. We have 8 tutorials this month scheduled, 8 in total. So for $15, it's honestly less than $2 a tutorial. So you can see the wreath behind me be created for less than $2. Interested in the kit? Awesome. So the mesh was cut at 15 inches. For those of you that are just tuning in. And now what I'm doing, since I don't like the look of pipe cleaners, I know some people curl them and turn them into little curly cues or roll them around to kind of make them look like fiddleheads. I don't like that look. I think the look of pipe cleaners is a little bit tacky in my opinion. There's no issue using them, but I don't like them to be seen. So I always trim the pipe cleaners off. Thank you. So one of my group members, Melissa, who is lovely, has just posted saying, the recap is 10-inch mesh cut at 15 inches, 18 pipe cleaners on a 14-inch frame. 1 ruffle per pipe cleaner. Exactly. Thank you. All right. Here's what it looks like without the pipe cleaners. I think it's a lot prettier. And again, I think this should be perfect in every single window of your house. It doesn't overdo it, but it does provide a little bit of color. Maybe that's something I'll do. If you guys are interested in seeing that too, let me know. Maybe I'll do one for every one of my windows. My house is even, so each window is on either side, so I think that'd be kind of pretty to have one in every single window. But next, let's add a bow. Like I said before, this is not going to be too complicated. We're going to keep it nice and simple, but we do want to add a little bit of color. So I have 2 green ribbons. I'm thinking I'm going to go with this one, but what do you guys think? Do you guys like the plain lime green, or do you guys like the lime green with the little squares? I'm thinking this one. Thank you. So some of the comments, it's kind of freezing right now, but I'll go back and read them as usual. Squares, I agree. Okay. So we're going to cut them off about, maybe we want to curl them, so about 12 inches. We'll cut the tails about 12 inches in length. Zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. 12 inches. I'm dovetailing them now by folding them in half, cutting out towards the wired edge. And I'm also using kind of a fuchsia with the frilled edge, like the snowball edge. And I think this ribbon's really pretty. This one comes in a bunch of colors. I know off the top of my head, orange, this color, red, red with green trim, green with red trim. And I love working with it. I think it's very pretty. All right, so we're going to put the tails to the side for now, and then we're going to make a double bow. So to do that, I'm going to throw my ribbons on the floor, take the two ribbons together, place them behind each other like this. Make sure this is the right way. Create a single loop, as usual. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double that, so that we got two loops. I'm going to hold it up, see if that's the size I want. A little too large, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little shorter. That looks like a good length, so always just hold it up, see if it's the size you want. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another loop. Pinch in the center, twist completely around so that the ugly side is facing up towards you, with the side you don't want showing. And then once you gather it again towards the center, the pretty side is revealed. Pinch in the center again, twist, roll out some ribbon, gather in the center, pinch, twist, roll out. I think we're going to do 3 on one side and 2 on the other. That should be enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, as always, with about an inch of an overhang, just in case the pipe cleaner gets a little loose. I like to have a little leeway. Grab a pipe cleaner. Fold it in half. Take my two tails. Find roughly the midway point. Place it behind, take the pipe cleaner, fold it in half, bring it around, twist tight. Okay. I want mine in the lower left-hand corner, so I'm just going to wiggle it through the mesh till I get to the back. And again, like with the mesh, I am going to twist it. The pipe cleaners originally, I am going to twist it around too. Just like this. I'm going to pull my tails towards me. And I'm going to open up the loops by simply pulling them apart. Just like that. Run my fingers through the tails. Okay, look at that. Actually, let me look at it first, and then I'll show you. There we go. Just a very simple bow, you guys. The ribbon is not 2.5 inches. This is 1.5. For a bow on this wreath, I would stick to 1.5 typically, just because I think the 2.5 is a little large for this size wreath. Obviously, you can make it a little bit larger and then use 2.5, but for this wreath, I don't want it to be too large. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to add some greenery. Let me figure out what type of greenery I want to use. I think we'll use some ivy. I love working with this ivy, you guys. I think it's very pretty. So I'll just cut it off. Plug in my phone. Yep, wired ribbon. Now I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm going to hot glue directly towards the mesh. So I'm just tucking a few pieces of this ivy in. This one's a little too large for what I'm working with today, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to snip it in half. And then in a couple smaller pieces. And tuck some ivy throughout. Okay. So this is what we got with just a couple pieces of ivy. I'm going to go back in and place the few pieces I have in front of me. Kind of fill it in a little bit more. Just like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my flowers. I have some of these beautiful peonies. If you are in my exclusive Wreath community, we cut off about a third of these, and I told you we'd use them in another project. So I'm going to put them to use today. So I'm just going to snip some of them off. I think we'll snip off 5 for now. Yep, I am using hot glue. I am using a generous amount. I have it quite thick on each stem to make sure that it does stay secure. So make sure that you do have a good amount of hot glue, and do make sure that it is attached securely to the mesh. Okay, that's what it looks like with 5 of them. I have 1 left over. I'll probably just save that. I think we got the effect that I'm going for with those. But now I have some of these snowball hydrangeas that we used behind me just to show you guys what they look like in a wreath. This is a sunflower wreath for those of you that are just tuning in. And as you can see, I used some of those throughout. And I think these are perfect for, honestly, year-round use. So we're going to place some of them in the summer wreath. So even the foliage here, like we have a little clump of greens, I'm going to place those in the wreath as well. Okay, so I have 2 stems of those. I'm going to place 2 of them just to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'll hold it up for you guys to see. So if you do want to purchase some jute mesh like this, or fabric mesh, Trendy Tree does carry it. I don't know if they have this exact color, but they do have some nice colors available. Where do I subscribe/join? Great question. You can head over to nickseasonaldecor.com and click the subscribe button. Again, it's $15 a month for 8 tutorials, including the one behind me. So less than $2 a tutorial. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of the greens that we have left over. We have some single leaves. I'll glue those in as well. And those I'm gluing directly to the mesh. We have one more. Okay, I don't think we're going to overdo it. I think this is enough. This is the effect that I was trying to go for. You could add more flowers if you'd like. You could add more greenery if you'd like. nickseasonaldecor.com. Yep. So very simple. Very cost-effective, very easy. What you could also do is cut the tails a lot longer and have them curl down here. I think that'd be kind of a neat feature as well. But sometimes something simple like this, you know, does the effect. And as you can see, we have nothing on this side at all. We didn't add no mesh. We didn't add no additional mesh, no curls or anything like that. No ribbon, no deco mesh tubing. Just keep it plain and simple. If you don't want to use two-tone mesh like that, you can get the same effect using, you know, single tone. It'd still be very pretty. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. We're very close to 100,000 followers. I think we're about 500 away or so. Again, there'll be a big giveaway at 100K as a little thank you token, with several prizes being won. And I'll see you all very soon. We'll be live again Monday in case I'm not able to pop in again towards the end of the week. But I think we're getting back on track with the lives, you guys. I think we're doing a lot more of them lately, which I really seem to enjoy. And again, thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye, everybody.